name is Dave, and just a little bit of a background about me. I went to Grace College, was there for 4 years, and then I spent 8 years after that recruiting for Grace College. So I worked at Grace, and I was around college students. My job was talking with high school seniors, walking them through the process of getting to college, whether or not they came to Grace or not. I had an influence in their lives in terms of just getting them prepared for college, wherever they went, answering questions. And so I'm now at a church. I work at a church. I'm a pastor, and but I love the higher education experience. It is an amazing time in your life, and it's a time where you'll discover a lot of different things. It's a time where God will teach you a lot of different things. And today, what I want to do is today's going to be very practical for when you get to college. Here are some things that you should be looking for and things to do. Today is not so much about while you're in high school, here's what you should be doing to prepare for college. It's more about when you get there, this is what you can expect and what things that you can do to enhance your experience. And so, just as a background for that, just to let you know kind of what today is about, I want to know kind of who's in the room. And so how many of you are like just graduated and you're going to college this fall? Okay, it's a lot of you. Okay, hands down. How many are juniors heading into your senior year of high school and kind of looking at colleges? Okay, how many of you are younger than that? Be proud. Okay, awesome. I wouldn't say never too early, because sometimes it's too early. My son is 11. It's probably too early for him to be thinking about college. But I'm glad everybody's here, and I think we all can learn something a little bit about what God has in store, no matter what college you choose, Christian college, state school, whatever it is. That's not the point of today. The point of today is when you choose a college, when you go to college, whatever it is. Come on in, guys. What can we expect, and what are things that we can do to make our college experience more beneficial? What are things that we can do to help us grow in our relationship with Christ during college? And so I want to start out with a couple verses. So you can write these references down if you want. But Ephesians 5:15 to 16. Says this. Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus, and he says this. He says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." Okay? I love that verse, because it talks about making sure that you are thinking, what we talked about last night, right? In the sessions, thinking about how you're living. Not as unwise, but as wise, and making the most of every opportunity. You are, those of you that are going to college, you are being afforded, and I should say afforded, because maybe you are working really hard and paying for it yourself, and you're getting a job and working 30 hours a week and going to college. Like, you're creating the opportunity, I get it. But it is an opportunity that you have. So what are we going to do with it? How are we going to make the most of it? All right? And the other passage is in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. And it says, basically it says, be of sober mind. Sober meaning like thinking clearly. Be of sober mind. For your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And when you go to college, Satan is using many things. I don't care what college you go to. Many things that are going to tempt you, and Satan wants to use those to devour you, to draw you away from Christ. And so that idea of being sober-minded, and it's not just talking about alcohol and drunkenness, but that's not what it's talking about. Are we thinking clearly about the opportunity that's in front of us? Okay? And so what we're going to do today, I have some things that I got from a professor, and then I talked to some students that I've recently just completed their freshman year or sophomore year of college, and basically asked them, give me some things that you wish you would have been told before you went to college. Does that make sense? And so it's going to be very, very practical. And if you want, at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to give me your email address, and I will send you all of this stuff, okay, that we're talking about today. So don't feel like you have to just hurry and write everything down. Obviously, if something hits you hard, like, yes, write it down so you can remember it and dwell on it and pray on it. But I will send you all the stuff that we're talking about today if you want. I won't spam you, I promise. So, here we go. I'm going to talk about from the eyes of a professor first, okay? Here are 8 things from the eyes of a professor that will help you in your college experience. The first one is this, ready? Show up. Sounds it? Right? Sounds simple. Show up. Attend every class session unless you have a contagious illness. That's what he says. It has been said that 80% of success is just showing up, and don't sit in the back. Right? I can practically predict a student's grade based on where he or she sits. Slacking in the back row equals bad grades with very few exceptions. Okay, this is from a professor experience with this. Now, if you sit in the back row, can you be engaged and thinking clearly and sober-minded, making the most of every opportunity? Sure, right? But generally, and I'm not ripping on people in the back row, so please don't do that. But generally, when we come in to a room and we desire to be engaged with something, we're going to sit in a place that allows us to do that well. And for me, like when I sit in church, I like to sit towards the front. Many times I'm preaching, so I'm actually in the front. But when I'm not preaching, I like to sit towards the front because I get distracted really easily. I do. And people talking or babies crying or whatever, like that stuff distracts me. And the less my eyes see of that, the less I'm going to be distracted. So when I sit in the back of a classroom, I see every other person in the classroom, and they're fidgeting with their pencil or they're doing whatever. And for me, that's very distracting. And so I want to sit in the front in order that, whether it's in the front row, or, you know what I mean, like sit in a place where you can engage well with what's happening. All right, so that's the first one, show up. Second one, introduce yourself. Find an excuse to go to office hours. Not just once, but 2 or 3 times a term. Take a draft of your essay to a TA or professor for review. TA is teaching assistant. Once graded work has been handed back, go back and ask for advice on how to improve it. These people will be your references, advocates, and possibly even friends later in life. You want them to remember your name when the semester is over. Okay? You heard that old adage, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. This is very true. I've gotten several jobs in my life because of people that I know. They know me, they know my character, they know my abilities. They call me. It's not boastful, but it's just about who you know. They call me and say, hey, would you be interested in this position? I think you'd be good at it. And so these professors that you have, like you said, they're going to be writing references for you when you apply to grad school or when you apply for jobs. Like, they're going to write references. I've written references for students before, for colleges, you know, as a pastor. Hey, will you write a reference? And if I don't know them, it's really hard for me to write a good reference for them. It really is. Like, I have to, there's some that I have actually said no to writing a reference because I don't really know you. I don't feel comfortable writing a reference for you. And so get to know them. Go to their office hours. Don't be afraid. If your professor is giving a talk or performance, show up and make sure he or she knows you did. Always remind your professor or advisor of your name when you encounter them. They will be eternally grateful, right? Don't assume that people know your name. Tell them your name. Make sure that they know who you are. Okay? Engage. That's number 3. Engage. Come to class prepared. I used to teach, before I was a pastor, I left Grace College and I worked at I went to do my master's degree at Purdue, and then I worked at a high school in Illinois, Christian high school, and I taught several classes there. That wasn't my main job teaching, but I ended up teaching a public speaking class and several other classes. And I can't agree with this one enough. Come to class prepared enough to ask a perceptive question or make a useful comment. Don't be a wallflower, but don't dominate either, okay? If you are always the very first hand to go up, that may not be the best thing. If you never put your hand up, that may not be the best thing. Does that make sense? Don't be a wallflower, but don't dominate. When you email a professor, do it for a good reason. Be respectful. Don't address them as dude or by their first name unless they ask you to. Okay? It's Professor, whatever their last name is, or doctor. If they're a doctor, they worked really hard to get that doctorate. Use doctor. Okay? Whatever their last name is. Turn off your cell phone. Do not text during class. We can tell. People text in church all the time, and it's okay, because when I sit in sermons, I tweet messages. I like live tweeting sermons. It's like my favorite pastime. But you're probably not going to be live tweeting a lecture on U.S. history, right? So, like, put your phone away, engage in what's going on in class. Professors can tell that kind of stuff. Out of the classroom, number 4, affiliate. Okay, you know what that means? What does affiliate mean? Anybody? Okay, 3B would be learn vocabulary. No, affiliate, you know what it means? What? Associate, yeah, associate with, identify with. Join, right? Affiliate, take advantage of what campus life has to offer. Clubs, events, service trips, religious groups. Join something the first week. Student activities start up right away. Try out any and all small groups that seem interesting until you find your niche. But learn, even in that, learn to say no to some things as well. Okay? Don't say yes to everything forever. Because college offers so much, and before you know it, you are involved in so many things, and you have zero time to do what you're actually there to do, study. Okay? Time management was the biggest thing I learned in college, and I didn't learn it in the classroom. I learned it by trial and error. I got so busy with so many different things. I played soccer my freshman year, and I was involved with music stuff and the choir, all these different clubs, service clubs, and in and of themselves, they were all great things. But I became so busy that I was like, okay, I gotta cut this, and I gotta cut this, and I gotta cut this, because I actually have to study, right? There's that little thing that you have to do in college, study. Research shows that students who are affiliated with a campus group or have a part-time job are less likely to drop out and more likely to progress through college on time. And more important, it enriches the experience, okay? So be involved, but don't be over-involved. There's a line there, and you have to figure out what that line is for you. And if you're like me, I enjoy helping and serving, and so when someone asks you to do something, my immediate response is like, I want to say yes, because I want to help. But there's a really good life skill, and that is learning to say no to things, okay? And that's something that's difficult for me to do, but I had to learn to do it, all right? Next one, learn a language. Anybody bilingual in here? What do you speak?
Spanish.
Okay, Spanish, everybody Spanish, it's good. Learn a language. Not only is it going to be benefit, it is, I'll say it this way, being bilingual is incredibly marketable, okay? You can do so much if you are bilingual. My parents, my dad was, he was born in New Mexico and grew up speaking Spanish and English. My mom was from Indiana. About as non-Hispanic as you can get. Didn't know Spanish at all. They met in college, got married. One of the biggest regrets they have is not raising us bilingual. I know a little bit of Spanish, enough to make me dangerous in a foreign country, but I'm not bilingual by any stretch of the imagination, and I wish I was. I wish I had taken Spanish classes while I was in college. So no matter what your major is, take advantage of the classes. A lot of times you pay a bulk tuition rate, and that, you know, you can take however many hours you want within that bulk rate. And taking language classes is expensive after that. So while you have the opportunity, take a language class. Learn a foreign language. It's going to expand your horizons if you're able to study abroad, even if it's just for like a month in the summer or maybe even a whole semester. Incredible experiences. Sixth one, okay? 4 was affiliate, 5 was learn a language, 6 is stay healthy. Don't neglect your health. You all heard of the freshman 15, right? You gain 15 pounds as a freshman. Part of that is because, like here, right, at Iowa, it's like, oh, there's a buffet every meal, and no one's telling me what to get or what not to get, and I can go back as much as I want. To be very vulnerable for a second, let me tell you a little bit about my story. I played sports in high school, soccer player, and played my freshman year in college, and didn't play after that. And while I was in college, I developed some bad eating habits, to put it mildly, okay? And I was, after college, when I traveled, like I would eat at restaurants on the school's dime, because I was traveling for the school, and stayed in hotels, and like it was the greatest thing ever. But developed some really, really bad habits in college. And it was really, really difficult for me to break those habits. And I spent a lot of my adult life really, really, really overweight. And it just did, literally in the last 5 months, I've lost about 50 pounds. And so it's taken so long for me to break those bad habits, okay? I still have a long way to go, I realize that. But if I could go back and do it over again, I would eat a lot more vegetables and fruit in college and a lot less French fries and hamburgers, okay? And so I would echo this very, very greatly. It's really easy to just kind of, I'm studying, we're having fun with friends. It's just really easy to just develop these horrible habits that are going to impact you later in life that you can't see down the road, okay? And so be healthy. Do things that are going to help you be healthy. Eat well, even though there's all these options. Eat salads and fruit, and yes, indulge every once in a while, but don't never have pizza. That's not what I'm saying. But make sure you're having healthy habits that are going to help you down the road, okay? It'll keep you from being sick more often. You'll have more energy. Work out when you can. Take advantage of the rec center you have at your school. Be healthy. Number 7 is be social. Leave the door of your dorm room open much of the day and cultivate a broad group of friends. I think about that even just in homes, right? What do? We open the garage door, we drive our car in, we shut the garage door, we go in our house, doors are locked. We have a fenced-in backyard. We isolate all the time in our culture. And reach out. Don't walk around campus texting. Make eye contact with people. All right. Chat with kids in class that are sitting next to you. Yesterday, I was looking for the group from my church in the cafeteria, and they weren't there yet. So I walked around the whole cafeteria and looking around, and I saw like 5 kids sitting there that I didn't know. And I'm like, can I sit with you? I want to meet some new people. And we sat, and we had like an hour and a half conversation, and we laughed, and it was awesome. And I now have some friends from Mooresville, Indiana. Okay, so take some risks and get out and meet people, and you will meet some incredible people. Set up a study group of 3 or 4 people, share ideas, questions, and notes. If you absolutely have to miss class, right, from number 1 that we said, right, show up to class. Sometimes circumstances happen and you can't make it to class. Have some friends and people that you can study with. The last one from this professor is make the most of each day. The years will fly by. Those of you that are seniors in high school now or that just graduated, you probably can remember like being in middle school or being in elementary school and thinking, oh, the seniors are so, right? They're so cool. To be a senior, now that you're there, you're like, I'm not really that cool. When I was in college, I was walking into a building with a friend of mine. It was right before Christmas break of my sophomore year. And we had the conversation. We have 2.5 years left in college. And we were just talking about, that's a lot of time to do a lot of cool things. And, we were just talking about, we had 2.5 years left. That's a long time. And then that same friend and I had a conversation during graduation weekend, and we were seniors. And we recalled that conversation. It was very vivid to us. And we thought that was yesterday that we had that conversation. That 2.5 years went by like that. You guys that just finished high school, right? It goes by like that. And college is no exception. In fact, I think it accelerates in college because things are moving at a faster pace. And so it goes back to the Ephesians verse, make the most of every opportunity. I think back to high school, I think about all the opportunities that I missed to just talk with people and be an encouragement to them and make an impact in their lives. And same with college. I went to a Christian college, but there are so many opportunities that just because you go to a Christian college, well, there's a lot of people there that don't know Jesus. And make the most of every opportunity, whether it's academics, whether it's your spiritual life, whether it's your physical life, friendships, socially, like, make the most of every opportunity. Okay, so that's from a professor perspective. I want to read some, I asked some friends of mine, 3 friends, to give me I told them what I was doing here at Momentum, and I said, I want you to tell me some things that you wish you would have known before you went to college. Things that you wish somebody would have told you before you went to college. And so, again, I'll give you all of these. I won't put their names in there, but I'll give all this stuff to you so you can have all this advice if you want it. But I'm just going to kind of read these. I'll make some comments as we go, similar to what I did with the professor. Here we go. This guy just finished his sophomore year in college. He goes to a state school in Ohio. He says this: I think it's very important that they find a group of believers to walk through the college experience with. Church, Bible study, some kind of campus organization. I found that no matter how prepared you are spiritually, you won't be able to stay strong in your faith or perform well in the classroom if you don't find help. Finding fellow believers helps provide a good influence, friends, accountability, and the best college experience. Better choices will be made, and the students will feel better emotionally and physically if they have a group of believers, friends, pastors, or classmates. I remember Jeff Bode talked about that. I think it was maybe the very first session this week. At the end, he said something along the lines of like we're made for community. We're not made to live life alone. I say this all the time in our church. Like the Christian life is intensely personal, but it is in no way private, nor intended to be private. Does that make sense? Like, it is a personal relationship with you and Jesus, but it is not to be kept to yourself. It's not a private thing. We are meant to live in community. And when you go to college, you have all these freedoms. And many times people try to isolate themselves. I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody else. And man, they fall quickly. I've seen it over and over again. He continues, I think it's super important to make their faith their own. Like yesterday, right? He had no idea I was going to be doing this after Sean McDowell and Jay Warner Wallace spoke to us. Discover what they truly believe and how they want to live. Without family and friends telling them what to believe, they get to decide how they're going to experience college when no one is watching. And by doing this, they will either decide they want to live for the world, or they will end up growing spiritually in ways that they never have. And he says, find a church and spend time with God. As a college student, you're constantly learning new things, so it's important to continue to grow spiritually as well. I did not tell him I didn't say, hey, focus on the spiritual aspect. I said, tell me about college. What are things you wish you knew? And that's what he gave me. It was a very, very intense experience for him, his first semester in college. And he learned, sometimes the hard way, about these things spiritually and how we need each other. Okay? Talked to another girl that just finished her freshman year in college. And she goes to a Christian school. She says, first and foremost, everyone needs to know that wherever, meaning everyone like you guys, you need to know that wherever you decide to go, God has a plan for you on campus, and will use you immensely if you submit yourself to Him. She says, don't sweat too much the decision to go to college, like where to go. Okay? I'm a firm believer that God has a will for every one of our lives. But many times we focus on the wrong thing when it comes to God's will. I think God gives us choices. He allows us to choose certain things. And God's will is not necessarily about places or specific choices that you need to make. God's will is about what is your character, what is your attitude in the midst of those choices. So whether you decide to go to Ohio State or Indiana Wesleyan or Taylor University or, I don't know, UNLV or wherever you decide to go, God can use you. And if you submit yourself to Him, He can use you wherever you go. Right? There are probably multiple schools that have the program that you're looking for, okay, in college. So how do you choose? Sometimes God makes it very, very clear. You get accepted to one school and not the other three. Okay, that's pretty clear, right? Sometimes you get accepted to all four. Well, then what do? Well, you have to make a choice. You have to choose. And so don't sweat this idea of, I just don't know if I'm in God's will or not. Do you pray a lot? Continually? Are you joyful in all circumstances? And do you give thanks in all circumstances? That's God's will for you. 1 Thessalonians 5. Right? The Bible doesn't spell out God's will for Dave in every single decision that I make. But it does spell out what's my attitude and what's my character in those decisions. What's my relationship with Christ like in those decisions? That's what God's will is. Okay, she continues. The freedom in college that kids look forward to can be abused much easier than they think it can. This might lead to dangerous problems. Do not overdo it. Stay strong. She says, no/remember your game. That makes sense. My parents, when I would go out, when I first got my driver's license, and I would leave the house and I'd go out with friends, my mom would always say to me, remember who you belong to. And she meant, yes, my last name's Pacheco. It's a weird name, I get it. But she meant, yes, you belong to your father and I, and what you do reflects on our whole family. But more importantly, she meant, like, you are the Son of God. That you are the property of Jesus as a believer in Christ. And remember who you belong to. And so, there's so many freedoms that you're going to have in college. And no one's telling you, not like now, not like living at home. No one's telling you what to do, when to be home, when to do this, when to do that, what to eat, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you're doing your homework, right? How many of your parents check on you all the time if you ask you, did you do your homework? Are you doing your homework? Does your parents check on them? That's not going to happen in college. Many, many freedoms. Remember who you belong to. She says, take risks with meeting new people. Even if you don't think they're people you would normally be friends with. People can surprise you and they might become some of your closest friends. Just what I was talking about earlier with sitting with different people at lunch. Branch out, meet people. I like to say it this way. Sometimes God prompts us to do certain things. We call it being sensitive to the Spirit or following the Spirit's nudge or push in your life. Many times, we say no to the Spirit right away because it looks uncomfortable. Like if you're a freshman in college and you go up to a group of people that you don't know and say, can I sit with you? Like, that's scary, right? But if God prompts you to do it, like, do it. Branch out. Meet new people. Stay in touch with your old friends and family. You need your new life at college, but don't neglect your old relationships. Your parents' voice through adjusting to college can be so helpful in the transition. Never block them out. It can be really easy to do, right? You're flying away from the nest, got your wings now, and mom and dad are like, hey, how you doing? Right? And you never call, you never write, you never text, you whatever. Like, I'm not saying you have to call mom for an hour every day, but don't neglect, okay? Never be afraid to ask for prayer. College is hard, academically, mentally, emotionally, physically. Tell your family at home, tell your friends at home, tell your new friends, tell a ministry on campus. Send a card to your grandma or grandpa full of pictures of your new friends in campus. They want to know how you are, and they will pray for you. Just recently, I should have done it a long time ago, but I asked about 20 different people that I know, some affiliated with our church, others friends that live far away from us. But I asked them, will you be my prayer team? and I send them specific prayer requests that I'm going through, that the church is going through, that our family's going through, whatever. I have proactively asked certain people to pray specifically for me. And don't feel like you're being selfish if you're asking people to pray for you. That's what God wants us to do, okay? So never be afraid to ask for prayer. And finally, she says, don't neglect your studies. College is not high school. Even if you did not try in high school and still pass with A's, college is a whole new ballgame. You need to study 10 times more. The first semester is the hardest when finding your routine. Balance is hard between your friends, outings, food, studying, sleep, but remember what you were at college for in education. Study should come first. Okay? And I kind of talked about that already with my time management that I learned in college. I don't think the content, when you go to college, I don't think the content gets any harder than it is in high school. It just moves at a much faster pace. You're required to read more in a shorter amount of time. Your papers are longer, and you have a shorter amount of time to do it. It just moves at a faster pace, okay? And so be prepared when you get to college, and you might take, 4 or 5 classes your first semester, and you get all the syllabuses on that very first day or two that you have those classes. It is like, there is no earthly way that I'm getting this stuff done this semester, right? Because you see everything that you have to do. And you find a routine, you find your study habits, you get your time management down, and it is possible to do all those things. People do it every semester, okay? But just be prepared because it moves faster, and you have to study more. And so I totally agree with her on that. And the last one I have, she just finished her sophomore year at a state school. And she was pretty vulnerable here. And so I want to share some of this stuff with you. I think this might resonate with a lot of you. She says, she kind of prefaced everything. She says, as I finished up my second year, God has been teaching me more than I ever imagined. This past semester has been the hardest semester yet. Unfortunately, I did not pass nursing school, hence the lengthy list of lessons I learned and advice. Throughout the year, I kept an ongoing list of things God taught me as well as other things people have told me. It's a good idea, by the way. Keep an ongoing list. God, what are you teaching me? God, what can I be thankful for? But keep an ongoing list of things that God is speaking to you. I'm sure she had no idea that I would ask her for these at the end of her semester, and yet here they are. She says this, it's okay to fail. Failure does not make you worse than anyone else. Failure does not mean you are incapable. Failure is a process, and you will come out stronger in the end. Has anybody ever failed in anything? Every hand should go up, right? Sometimes I ask, my wife and I have started asking our boys when they come home from school, instead of how was your day, we ask, did you fail at anything today? Right? And the reason that we do that is because we want them to understand that failure is not this massive end of your life kind of thing. Okay? We try things and we fail, and God teaches us things, but the fact is that we're trying things and we're listening to what the Lord wants us to do. And so we talk about failure in our home and the fact that it's not, like she said, failure does not mean you're a bad person. It does not mean you're a stupid person. It does not mean you're a weak person. God has gifted us all differently. And we try different things and we fail at different things. Like there was some different teams, music teams and different things that I tried out for in college, didn't make them. Does that mean like I'm a failure and God can't use me? Well, no. It just means he had a different plan than what I thought my plan was. So don't be afraid to fail. And she continues, do you trust God enough that if you were to fail, he would catch you? These are all different points. It's a question she asks. And then she says, with Jesus, pain has a purpose and a clock. I love how she said that. He's not going to leave you stranded. As hard as it is to wait, be patient and trust his timing. So you're going to go through things in college that you never, ever thought you would go through. God, similar to, I forget his first name, the pastor last night that spoke first before Jay Warren Wallace, with his wife. What's David?
Oh, David.
Yeah. Like whoever thinks they're going to go through that in life, right? We have all these plans that we think, this is how my life is going to go. And many times, probably every time, it doesn't work out exactly how we planned it. Okay? But his pain has a purpose and a clock. He's working in us during that time. And she says, embrace the season. Can you tell that she had some struggles, right? She's writing these things down. She says, embrace the season you're in. Everyone goes through life in seasons, literally and figuratively. We all have fun summers and dark winters. It's okay. You're going to have a bad day or week or month or maybe even a whole semester. They come and go, but don't waste your time hoping it does or doesn't end. Trust God and embrace it. God never promises a pain-free life, but he promises to walk with us through whatever circumstances, whatever pain that we're going through. And so trust God in the midst of it. Many times we pray for God to take us out of the hurt and the pain, when really what we should be praying is inviting God into the pain with us. Because we can't avoid pain. So let's let the God of the universe, the power of the resurrection, walk through it with us and embrace him as we go through it. Your college experience will not be the same as anyone else's. That's important to know and learn, right? It won't be the same. She says, don't be afraid to eat dinner alone. How many of you are embarrassed about eating by yourself at a restaurant or in a cafeteria? Right? It's weird. There's people around with friends and don't be afraid to eat dinner alone. Don't be afraid to go up and make new friends and talk to people. It's okay. You're going to live through it. It's a good opportunity just to sit and watch people and pray and it's okay. It's hard to find time to do something for yourself every day, but if it is literally written into your schedule, you are 99% more likely to do it. Okay? So something for yourself every day. That could be a zillion different things. But this time management thing that I talked about earlier, write it down. Write it into your schedule. Make time for the thing. I say this all the time at our church too. If you're trying to find time for God, you're never going to have it. If you make time for God, you're always going to have it. Does that make sense? I hear all the time, I don't have time for devotions. I don't have time for whatever. When the reality is, they're just not making time for it. They're prioritizing other things over whatever it is they can't find time for. And so whatever is important to you, value it and prove that you value it by putting it into your schedule and making time for that thing. She says, get involved. We talked about that. She says, allow God to work in you. He will do some pretty incredible things and you will grow more than you could ever imagine. She says, be vulnerable. That's an important one. We don't want anybody to see what's going on in our life. I heard a song one time, just came to me just now. I heard a song that it starts out, I think it's the second verse, starts out, man's greatest fear is being alone. Right? Eating by yourself. We don't like it. We don't want to be alone. But then it said, but his second greatest fear is being known. Right? So how do you reconcile those two? We fear being alone, and yet we fear people knowing who we really are. And the only way we're going to have authentic relationships is to be vulnerable and allow people to know who we really are. I don't mean everybody. Not everybody you meet on your college campus needs to know your deepest struggles and your deepest sins. That's not the point. But if you don't have one or two people that you're really, really vulnerable with, you're going to struggle. Be vulnerable with people. Go outside your comfort zone. It'll be worth it. Just hang out and make friends with people who have different values and beliefs and views as you. And so that's just very, very quick, hopefully some very practical things. Those of you that are going to college, I spent 12 years of my life at a college, both not as a student, that would be a really long program, but both as a student and as a staff person. And it was just incredible. I love the college atmosphere. It's so fun. There's so many things to do. And yet it can be overwhelming. And so my prayer for you guys is that like we talked about at the very beginning, is that you go into college just with a clear understanding of what you're getting into, okay? And a 50-minute session at Momentum can't prepare you for every single thing. I get that. But I want you to go in with your eyes wide open, knowing that there's going to be a lot of fun, there's going to be a lot of difficulty, there's going to be a ton of studying, there's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to understand and you need help with. You're going to fail, you're going to succeed, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, like all those things. It is an amazing time in your life, but go into it with eyes wide open, knowing what you're getting into and knowing that you can't do it by yourself. You need the help of your Savior to stay close to Him. You need the help of other people, academically, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like, we need each other. And so grab that group of friends that you know is going to support you. Can I pray for you guys? If you have questions, I don't want to get you out too late, but if you have questions, I'd love to talk to you more afterwards. If you want me to email you this, I just ask that you come up and just make a little line, and I'll write your emails here in this Word document, and so I can just copy and paste them in the email and send it all at one time. But I'll send you that attachment at some point. Let me pray for you guys, okay? Father, I thank you so much for who you are. And Lord, I don't know what all schools everybody plans to go to or is going to next year. God, I just pray that you would help them to understand what they're going into in college. It is a beast, it's a bear, it is so fun, it is so hard, it is a great time in their life, it's a hard time in their life. And so Lord, I pray that you would just help them to process these things as they're going through it, before they go through it. Lord, when the trials come, and they will come, God, I pray that coming to you would be a first response and not a last resort. God, I pray that we would be so in tune with your Spirit that we would just always be in prayer and always be sensitive to your Spirit's leading in our life. And Lord, I pray that you would give them success in your eyes while they're at college. And that could mean a lot of different things and a lot of different circumstances. But Lord, I just pray that you would give them success in their endeavors so that they might be a force for your kingdom. Lord, so we thank you for your love for us. We thank you for your grace in our life. And God, I pray that you would bless them, prepare them, give them wisdom and strength and power as they go through these college years. And we love you. In Jesus' name, amen.